Good morning and welcome to the AEOREMA Communications PLC investor presentation. Throughout this recorded meeting, investors will be in listen-only mode. Questions are encouraged and can be submitted at any time via the Q&A tab situated on the right-hand corner of your screen. Simply type in your question, press send. The company may not be in a position to answer every question received during the meeting itself. However, the company can review all questions submitted today and publish responses where it's appropriate to do so. Before we begin, we'd like to submit the following poll. I'd now like to hand you over to Steve Quast, CEO. Good morning.
Good morning, thank you. Good to be back again. So following our trading update last week, we're going to do a presentation, a mix of the people who do not know us, so excuse the fact I might have to explain stuff, and for the guys and girls that know us, hello again. So, AEOREMA Communications, what are we? We're a global award-winning strategic communications group. We are based in London as the mothership, but New York and Amsterdam are two other offices, 60 plus employees, and over 60 years of trading. But what do we actually do? And in its simplest form, if you have a brand, a business or organization that want to connect to an audience, primarily in a live medium, we do that process. Strategy, creativity, delivery, conferences, exhibitions, roadshows, brand experiences. That's what we do. Later in the deck, I'll show you some examples of our recent work to give you a better idea of exactly what type of work we do. I'm the CEO, proud to be our CEO of AEOREMA and of our two trading companies. Been around for 40 odd years, worked with lots of brands, and I have been running agencies since the age of 21. In the industry, we have two brands that are known. Cheer for 21st is the bigger part of the business, which is based in London, New York, and Amsterdam. As it says here, strategy to delivery, content, moving image, creating the best brand experiences, and winning multiple awards. Eventful is our sister agency, a beautiful boutique agency, another part of the live business, which is around venue search, incentive travel, and high net worth kind of meetings. They complement our services as a broad spectrum in that live event production space. I like this slide. On AIM, hopefully fairly unique that we are profitable, robustly growing, cash positive. We pay dividends. We have a very strong management team. And we lead in the market. It's not just us saying that, our industry peers say that. We win lots of awards and the best awards, some of the most prestigious awards in our industry. And we have a big CSR policy to be net zero by 2030. For the first time, I introduced Jamie, my FD, who's going to give you a trading update. Jamie joined us in 2018, sits on the board and works obviously across the business, both in America and the UK. Trading update, over to Jamie.
Thank you, Steve, and welcome all. First time as mentioned, but here to give a trading update. So let's start with I'm sure most of you are aware, disappointing H1, revenue down $500,000 and a loss of $250,000. But on more positive notes, H2 a near record in terms of profit and certainly record in terms of revenue. Extremely busy May and June. Delivered 14 activations at Cannes Lions, as Steve will go through later in this deck, as well as multiple other events in June for a number of professional service companies. For the full year, we are expecting revenue of no less than 20 million, broadly in line with last year, and unfortunately profits of no less than £400,000, down on £1 million last year. This is ultimately due to a number of reasons. One, over hiring. We scaled up on the anticipation that growth would continue, and unfortunately revenue has stalled in the year just gone. We've also, as I shall explain on the slide where we've just come from, we've witnessed within the industry a number of delays in decision making and spending from our clients, most notably the tech industry, as I'm sure you're all aware and have seen in the news. A number of the tech companies have made redundancies, and we've had the knock-on effect of cut budgets and delays in spending, most notably £2 million of contracted work, which we expected to fall within FY24, is now being delivered in FY25. Where else have we come from? So we've experienced, since post-COVID, reopening business to employee This covers mostly professional services, has returned in person, and we're seeing growth in this area, partner conferences, etc., among professional services. And then business to business, B2B. This covers most notably our tentpole events, so Cannes Lions being the predominant, CES in Las Vegas in January, OMR in Germany in May, and a number of others throughout the year. This is where our account model has really come into its fore. We're starting to get foresight with all our clients regarding what events they're attending during the year, and this has really helped us with forecasting moving forward. So that's where we've come from, and this is where we're going, or where we are, sorry. So near record H2 profits as mentioned, an intention to maintain our dividend policy, and early indications that FY25 will see an improvement in profitability. Why, you may ask? Well, we've adjusted our business model. So predominantly revenue falls 60% in H2 and 30% in H1. So we have taken the steps post year end to reduce our headcount. That's across the board. So that includes direct salaries and indirect salaries to help rebalance the company as we move forward. And hopefully this will have an impact on our profits moving forward. We're also reviewing our indirect costs. So, marketing new business and trying to make sure that we're spending money where appropriate and reducing any waste. So hopefully this will bear dividends for the year to come. And I'll pass you back across to Steve.
Thanks, Jamie. So, as Jamie says, the pipeline for 25 is looking strong. Clients returning back to kind of pre-pandemic patterns. I talked about it earlier and some other presentations around the seasonality coming back. So we'll now have a better lock on when the hotspots are in the year. America continues to develop and grow. We're actually producing 4 events in September this September coming up, so it gives you an indication of the growth there. Current planning kind of within the brand itself, we're looking at doing a bit of a refresh and put some IP around our process and how we approach, and we're going to launch that probably in the next month or so, so watch this space, there'll be a presentation on that. And as Jamie says, we're just restructuring and reducing costs. We had such rapid growth for the last 3 years, it's probably just time to take stock, regroup, refocus, retune, and go back to kind of generating more significant profits as we have done in the past. Summary on that is obviously cash is strong at 3.1 million in the bank. We're committed to paying dividends, so that just shows confidence in the business. Our reputation in the industry continues to grow and is strong and recognised by our peers, both in the US and Europe. Nimble, I think the fact that we're still nimble and agile enough to be able to flex and adapt to the market conditions is a key part of our strength. As I said, pipeline is strong. Rebookings are looking very healthy. Relationships with our clients are as sticky as ever. Can't say we have reported any client losses, which is great. And outlook is continue that momentum as we continue to grow over the years. Just a reminder, our vision around our core strategy is obviously to be, a leading, fully integrated brand experience agency with offices in multiple markets. North America is a big growth for us, but Europe and Middle East is also a potential target for us. Culture in this world of the employee being king is to maintain and attract the best talent. So one on a level about what our culture is, but also maintaining an environment where talent can thrive and do the best they can. And of course, back to growth, continue to grow and attract our clients along that journey. A little snapshot, I've shown this before, but it's just worth knowing that we swim in a very big pool. The UK market's 42 billion, US itself is 103 billion, nearly 2.5 times as big, hence why we're in America. And globally, it's 800 million plus. I think these stats have actually grown. I think it's forecast to grow by another 30% in the next 3 years. We do shout a lot about what I call our shiny, bright kind of Cannes line tentpole activations, which I'll show you later. But it's also very key that you also know we have a very strong internal professional service division that produces big partner conferences with some of the biggest consultancies and legal firms in the world and represents 40% of our work. And as Jamie says, we're seeing that return back to normal levels of annual events, which is great and is a big contributor. And that side of the business is growing back healthily again. And of course, our B2B world is a 60%, so just over half, but significant and continues to grow. Our footprint and our activations, this is a list of events we've done recently, continues to grow, so pretty much we can operate anywhere in the world and have credentials and case histories and talent to supply that. Let's talk about Lions. I know we talk about Lions a lot. So Cannes Lions, for those of you who don't know, is a big festival held in Cannes. It's called the Great and the Good of the Marketing and the Advertising World. It is seen as the Oscar of the marketing world. It's like the Super Bowl of creativity. And we produced 14 activations last June. Over 30,000 people attend this event. The outreach online goes into the millions, and these are some of the brands we have worked with and we continue to work with. One particular brand that we're very proud of is Stagwell. Stagwell came to us with their first activation in 2023, where we produced the team an amazing activation. Year two is our second album. Year two is Come Back Bigger, Better, Bolder, Braver, and we did that. It's a truly great collaboration with Stagwell and team to create what was seen as the best activation in Cannes and the biggest activation in Cannes. I will run a video. Can you run the next video, please?
Rumor has it, I'm a savage, drop the classic, thinking back, mastermind, never tired, tell them all. Big dreams, I got big dreams just like baby.
And I'm more of one of those high-class prima donna athletes.
I've been joining forces with the likes of an agent.
Yo, Elon, what's up, baby? What's going on?
The deadline, I'm ahead time, the rare kind. I'm a living legend, lethal weapon, master.
Jake from State Farm.
Are you kidding me?
My name is Fly J. Johnson. My middle name is Hustler.
Group of people with a vibe, energy. You don't get better than that.
So that gives you a good idea of the activation. It has been seen as the best activation ever done in Cannes. This is not us saying this, it includes the film festival. 17,000 guests through over 5 days. So Stagwell are super delighted and commercially been a huge success. Just give you a snapshot, 32 panel sessions, 160 interviews. We had Alex Honnold climbing our climbing wall, meetings in floating boxes. It was an amazing experience and I'm super proud that we delivered that. Needless to say, success in that radiates out, and just here's a view of the beach. Building on the beach is quite fun, by the way, not the sea comes in. Anyway, so you may be familiar, people who know us, the Wall Street Journal, we've always produced a big activation in the port in Cannes. This year we couldn't because the port's been demolished and refurbed, so we found a new building. So we did Cannes 2024 in a new structure, and again, just as successful. Credit to my team and credit to Wall Street Journal for being such a fantastic client, again, collaborating with us to produce another brand experience for Journal House. This is what we did last year. So this year, we'll run a video and show what we did this year. Quite a different activation, much different kind of audience, demographic, and I've said before, Wall Street Journal, we produce probably over 30 events in a year, and we're actually going to New York for in UNGA, the United Nations Forum in September. The success, again, it's just so nice to get such glowing report from our clients. Again, if you can read here, making it one of the best activations ever done. For 21st, we have a fantastic relationship with them. Slightly different. One of our other clients, it's Snowflake. If you're not familiar with Snowflake, they're a big cloud-based, American-based business. Slightly different approach to this, slightly smaller activation, but just as effective, where it's a bit more guerrilla, as they say in the old marketing days, a bit more ambient, a bit more playful. Again, we'll run the video and show what we did.
And we are back at Cannes Lions, reporting live as the biggest players in the ad world descend on the French Riviera. Oh, sorry, we've got some disruption. Is that... Robbie, are you getting this? Is that a snowflake in June?
Life, living, the igloo on the beach with no therapy.
So that gives you a kind of spread of the types of work we're doing in Cannes Lions. As I say, Cannes Lions is basically a convention where the marketing brands of the world come together. But as I've said before in previous presentations, where there are other tentpole events, that's the terminology our clients use, throughout the world. CES in Vegas, Online Marketing Rockstars in Germany. So we are targeting all these to kind of repeat our success in Cannes. I'm delighted to say that we are activating at these places already and have briefs into Basel Mobile World Congress, New York Climate Week Mobile World Congress, and South by Southwest is another target for us. As I said before, Climate Week we produced last year to great success. We're running that again in September in New York. So credit to the New York team. That's another big global event for the greater good to come together to talk about climate and all the challenges around that. And for our own CSR credentials and our own D&I policy, it's a great brand to be working with. And then finally, that we continue to be thought leaders in the industry, where we continue to expand our brand playbook. We've done a thought leadership piece around South by Southwest, why you should go there. More recently, Trends Report on Cannes Lions, again, why you should go there, and successes. And of course, underpinning all that is you want to work with an agency such as ourselves. We, as I say, won lots of awards since last time. We won some more awards: Best Creative Concept for Stagwell, Best Conference, and Global Agency of the Year nominations that we'll hopefully hear in the next couple of weeks if you've won. That's just a testament to the quality and the standard we do. And going back to that reputation piece, we are feared by our competitors and loved by our clients. Just to summarize again, we are profitable, robust in our growth, cash positive, dividend paying, great management team, market leading, award winning, net zero. So what's not to like? Very proud to say that. Thank you. Questions, please.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed for your presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, do please continue to submit your questions just using the Q&A tab situated on the right-hand corner of your screen. Just while the team take a few moments to review those questions submitted today, I'd like to remind you the recording of the presentation, along with a copy of the slides and the published Q&A, can be accessed via your investor dashboard. Steve, Jamie, as you can see, we've had a number of questions submitted throughout today's presentation. Thank you to the investors for submitting those. Could I just ask you just to click on that Q&A tab and, where appropriate to do so, read out the question and give your response, and I'll pick up from you at the end.
Okay, I'm just looking through. I think a good question is, can you provide more details on the cost reduction and rebalancing program? What specific measures have been taken and how will this impact profitability financial year 2025? Jamie, you want to answer that?
Sorry, yes, sorry, I was looking for your questions. So this is covering cost reductions and rebalancing. Yeah, so we understood that we'd overhired in the previous year, and so we've rectified that. So from July, we obviously had to deliver in June, and then since July we've acted upon that, consulted with all our departments, and made the correct reductions where necessary across the board. So that covers direct salaries, direct individuals. So, working in the events department, our moving image department, our creative department. And we've also made reductions in our indirect, so covering operations and HR. These were essentially necessary. We'd scaled up in the expectation that growth would continue, the growth we've seen over the last 3 years post-COVID, and unfortunately that didn't materialise. So look, we've made a significant reduction, and we expect that to have an impact on the year ahead. We hope that we have quiet periods in a year, and we don't utilise the headcount we had. So hopefully we're going to utilise the resources we now have, match where the revenue falls, and hopefully that's going to have an impact. We also acutely aware that we need to reduce costs elsewhere, so we have been actively looking at our indirect costs. That covers marketing, new business, and assessing where we can reduce costs moving forward to help improve profitability. So those are the steps we've taken, and we will continue to review that throughout the year and try and make improvements where we can.
Thanks, Jen. And just to add to that, we have such rapid growth, so there's a time for a slight refocus and readjusting and looking at our cost centre to kind of maintain the revenue, but also maintain our profits, which Jamie has done. Another question: what were the primary drivers for the increase in the cash balance from 2.4 in 2023 and 3.1 in 2024? I can answer that. I think, as Jamie's already said, we had a mega second half, the most profitable second half we've ever had. And a lot of that work was concentrated actually in the last 6 weeks of the year. Hence, we had a lot of revenue and a lot of prepaid contracts. So basically, there was just more cash in the business because we just did more work. It's as simple as that. Significantly more than the same period last year. What are the early indicators for suggested improvement in profitability? Well, as I said, look, our pipeline for 2025 is looking strong. We're adjusting our cost base, so even the same revenue with this next year, then our profits will be higher because basically there's less in our cost center. We live in interesting times, but we're very confident, and the rebooking pace, particularly from Karen, has been actually very, very quick. So we're seeing kind of a lot of foresight coming up for other events coming up in the year. More questions. James S. You mentioned maintaining the dividend policy. How do you balance maintaining the Okay, here we go. We mentioned maintaining the dividend policy. How do you balance maintaining this with the need to reinvest in growth? It is a balance, but we are very cash positive, and we do have cash in the bank. We don't have any debt. So one, we're in a position to reward our investors. We also believe it's a sign of confidence. But the dividends are sensible, and it's a reward for investment. The other side of the coin is, the biggest dividend will be growing the business. So there is a line between those two. And as the dividend spread is very flat throughout the business, there's no major receiver of that. So it's just a fair way of doing it, in my opinion. Alan C. The market's clearly more difficult. How have some of your closer competitors fared? I would say the industry is going through another phase of change. The adjustments that we are doing is quite common across similar agencies. Depending on what your industry sector is, but as America is such a big piece of anyone's client mix, those adjustments and those delays and that short-termism that we've seen beginning or end of actually last year, beginning of this year, has affected everybody. And they're all going through the similar sort of evolution, if you like, in clients' buying pattern. Doesn't make you feel better, but at least other people are going through the same thing. How important is it for the company to be net zero by 2030? It is now a business critical part of your business. The brands that we work with and brands that we want to work with have a very strict D&I and sustainability policy that, unless you are proving to be on that journey, improving it to actually demonstrating it with actual results and measurement, you will not be selected as a partner. So that's the number one thing. Secondly, as a brand and as an agency that tries to attract the best talent, it's also driven by our culture here because we believe in it. So it is a key thing, and is a investment that actually pays dividends on lots of levels, but it's quite a key thing. And any creative agency, particularly in our world where there's deemed quite a lot of waste, if you're building things once and not using it again, we have to be all over. Your presence at James there, so your presence at major events like Cannes, Lions, and your award wins, all very positive, but how do you look at to leverage your reputation to win new business? Awards are one of our tools for the marketing team to go out to market. We have very proud to say we have a very strong and active and successful marketing team. Part of our investment over the last 2 years and part of our sunk cost was in a very sophisticated back-end marketing system with a CRM function. That is paying dividends now, so we feed that into there. And reputation is everything. The halo effect and the referral part of the business is still a big driver for our business. So we will continue to leverage that and shout from the rafters. We win a lot of awards. We're quite unusual. We win a lot of awards. So we will leverage that and use that as a USP going forward. It also feeds into, I mentioned earlier, what we're going through a brand reflex or refresh. We're looking at our DNA and looking at actually what makes us tick. And we're kind of codifying that and putting some IP around that to actually go to market. And again, just based on our experience in doing great work.
I would just add to that Cannes Lions is the foot in the door for us in terms of getting our new business director in front of new clients. He came out of Cannes with at least 15 new briefs, Cannes Lions, but also a number of tentpoles throughout the year. So Cannes Lions, we just showcase that we can take new clients to Stagwell, showcase the work that we do, and it's a fantastic opportunity to build our reputation, to win new business, new briefs, and just get ourselves in front of clients, not just for Cannes Lions, but for a number of events throughout the year. So yeah, we leverage that quite a lot.
There's not many more questions, really. So, any more?
Just if you want to just scroll up just to make sure nothing further has come through there, Steve.
So they come from the top down? Is that
Yeah, if you scroll, I think I'm not sure if we've got any more through. If you scroll there, you'll be able to see that. You may see a couple of others come through.
Okay, well, let's call that a day. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, IT. We'll be back. And again, watch out for any RNS releases. And thank you for your time. We'll speak to you again. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Steve, Jamie, thanks indeed for updating investors today. Can I please ask investors not to close the session, as you'll be automatically redirected to provide your feedback in order that management can better understand your views and expectations. This will only take a few moments to complete and is greatly valued by the company. On behalf of the management team of AEOREMA Communications PLC, we'd like to thank you for attending today's presentation. Good morning to you all.